character to take that role would be Giga Chad,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not Pepe would not do that. Pepe is a good chill fellow, and not the chill guy. The other meme.
Where did that one come from?
That one.
Because that one has also been like pumped for monetization. And maybe not to scatter our thoughts too much, but David and I
that one actually is an op. That one
maybe because you're just a chill guy. I ain't doing anything wrong. I mean, like whatever.
Can you guys tell me on chill guy? Can someone send me a link?
I know this. I don't know. Why don't you go look up on Know Your Meme or something?
It's just called Chill Space Guy. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a chill guy. He's like a dog with his hands in his pockets, and he's kind of like looking at you like he's breaking the fourth wall. But I noticed with him,
like Brian from Family Guy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Brian from Family Guy, except he's brown. Which there's some jokes to be made about that.
Oh, okay, I have to.
But he's also got his little, Solana token meme coin. And David and I were talking about this during the whole Fat GF Plapjack thing, which I'm so thankful it's more or less died down, and I haven't seen it on my timeline, and I also haven't gone looking for it, so I can psychologically torture David here.
Yeah,
but
you're not in a Discord with David.
Yeah,
no, I'm not. I need to resume my pay piggy status with Tuki's Mag to come back. But I think that all of these memes, like once they garner this sort of critical mass, they open a token on Solana or whatever other crypto trading platform of their choice. And it's sort of interesting because a few years ago, and I know that this is a long spiel here, but NFTs kind of died. And as we kind of learned, or was elucidated by or elaborated by Mark Andreessen over on Joe Rogan, like NFTs and a lot of crypto investments stopped due to debanking and due to politicization of that whole marketplace of the government stepping in. But also, if Bored Ape was a thing today, it wouldn't be just an NFT. It would be a crypto token on Solana or something. It'd be just like, Bored Ape coin and it would be like at Bored Apes on Twitter. And they would be like, putting them in all these sort of relatable meme situations. And it's like, oh, well, the progenitor to all of this about sort of like the monetization and the monetized image form kind of comes from them. But now the cleverness of it was someone who was like, well, what if I took this crypto idea, but I applied it to relatable memes and everyday use? No one uses a fucking Bored Ape for anything. Like if Bored Ape had the status of a Wojak in terms of its usage, it would be used and traded, and it would be a hotter commodity than it ever was in the NFT market. And nowadays,
Wojak trading cards, collectible card game.
I'm gonna go.
Every time you post the meme, if you want to, like the whole. That's what they wanted NFTs to be. They wanted it to be every time you post the meme, you have to like buy use rights to the image. And if you want to, put a new quote on Wifejack, you have to buy a token that gives, that costs some amount that gives you rights to make the post. That was the particular bro dystopia that was proposed by NFTs. And fortunately it seems like the meme coin casino on Solana seems to be shortcutting that, which is good because it just lets people be like, I think line will go up because people post funny image, right, rather than actually tying the usage to a transaction.
Yeah, it does have an opposite reaction where on the pro side of, as our friend Gabe Sinclair would say, an elite that owns the apes or the meme, and there's like a limited quantity and artificial scarcity is enforced. The opposite that we have now is we have this sort of boom bust capitalist maximalist style where it seems like anytime one of these memes pops up, whether or not there's a clique of people behind the scenes cooking it up, preparing the rollout, etc., it seems like someone leaps on it, someone makes the quote unquote official Wifejack account. Fucking kill yourself, by the way, if you're listening to this and you made that account. You faggot. I'm sorry.
In Minecraft. In Minecraft,
in
of course.
Minecraft.
And there's one for Daughter Jack. There's one for Son Jack. Each of these little.
There's one for Fat GF. We covered this on the first episode of the Discourse Corner.
Yeah, and that was the first time I'd ever
that's
seen
David's alt, so he doesn't.
Yeah, David isn't gonna. David's just upset that the Wifejack is more popular than like someone settling for an obese whale.
Honestly, I've already said a 2025. I am forgotten. I've already scheduled that tweet to go out the first morning of January. But the boom bust cycle we have now with these memes, which is the opposite of what were just describing, Kat, which I agree that would have been the worst outcome. But now the gold rush is we gotta pump this freaking meme. We gotta churn out, whether they're funny or they're just like, it's kind of funny. It is a Wifejack, and you did like add a new thing. It's the incentive structure has actually been twisted in a really negative way, where I think it's increasing how fast we burn through memes. And we've actually, you guys have talked about on DA before how like fast the cycle is now for a lot of this stuff. And this seems like it's adding like a monetary fuel to that fire of generating like a ton of low quality, low effort content.
It's insane, because that's exactly the observation that Gio and I had made, was not just we didn't talk about really the tokenization of it, but we have noticed that because there is a monetizable aspect to this, these feel very much like strike while the iron is hot, get rich quick, or get your dollary dues up, right? Like, Solana coin trend, whatever's on Solana or whatever's on these platforms, like, oh, it's trend, it's, the token is trending, and you notice that too with the, because we went through some of these memes on the uncensored version that's available for our lovely pay froggies and pay angels on subscribestar.com/thepotentialist, that the Fat GF would be licking things that were suggestive, but it was like the green line, because like the green line go up for crypto exchanges and things like that. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, I clearly get the joke here and the premise. Like, there's some money to be made here, or at least a little bit of money in returns on these meme coins, and to some extent, Dogecoin and all that jazz, which now is gone to the fucking moon, because we're apparently going to have a Department of Government Efficiency, which is an advisory
45 cents, baby.
Which is an advisory council that is going to go forward in the same way that other commissions were done in the 80s and 90s. But I mean, the point out of all of this, right, is that it goes through the timeline very quickly. I get tired of it very quickly. I did mute the word Wifejack on my Twitter timeline. And sorry that I'm 28 minutes in and just explaining to the audience here, like, hey guys, the show is to explain memes and online discourse, so you don't have to go on these wretched hell sites like x.com. That's what the Discourse Corner is for at this point. It's also with my favorite guests from Tukey's Mag, sans Gabe, because I have Gabe at home. It's called Gio Penichetti.
Yeah, my wife's son, Gabe. Yeah,
your wife had a son with Gio?
No, what is it? My wife's son, or my Gio's son. My Gio's son.
My Gio's son. This is Gio's son, Gabe.
This is my Gio's son. Yes.
Yeah, but the monetary thing was definitely one of the main aspects I wanted to cover. And I don't know, do you guys have any sense of how successful? I never go on like Solana.
On Pump Fun. Yeah,
I don't know how successful any of these have been. I
feel like a boomer because most of my investments are in like heavy metals or in commodities trading.
No,
really, you didn't roll the dice on Palantir right before the election?
No, I did make some money on marijuana stock because
Gio's son said you should do that. By the way,
he
was successful.
I did bet on elections. I did that. I did bet on Trump winning, and then I also bet on the proposition on marijuana in Florida. And I've been doing this since 2016. As every election where marijuana is on the ballot, I either invest in or I short marijuana stock, depending on where I think it's going to do well. So, for instance, I made some money when Ohio rejected it at the ballot box. I was like, good. So it's a fun way to make a little bit of money on the side, in the same way that you can easily look at an airline incident and be like, well, I'm not going to put my money there, or I'm going to short it. But I mean, again, that's just my own piss poor financial management, because I don't have the sense to get into the crypto game as I probably should have done a while ago. Because I was having a conversation with a mutual of mine, but who's a much larger account. And he was telling me that he's got a nice nest egg in crypto. And I was like, maybe I'm just retarded and I am like the right-wing version of certain online bureaucrats that make me reconsider my entirety of life choices. But that's not what we're here to discuss. So I won't have my existential live on air yet.
Let's do Discourse coin.
Discourse coin is pumping. It's although
I should just get like a $sign PRUD prude coin or something like that. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I would probably redact myself live on air if I had saw that and my profile picture had been turned into an amphibious Wojak. I think that would be the end of my life online as we know it.
So at the time of recording, the Wifejack coin that is most well established on Pump Fun has a market cap of approximately $9 million after a pretty regular sell-off for the past 2 days. So
it's already over. You're telling me
it's over. It's over. Yeah, there was a big sell-off on the 27th. So just so you know.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of other things that briefly had a pump and a rug, and memes that had extremely short life cycles. Anyone remember Peanut?
Is that the guy who's pointing with his thumb at something?
Nobody. That's that squirrel. That's that squirrel that the state of New York executed.
Oh yeah, I was making fun of that when it was big.
The one that people have credited with tipping the election in Trump's favor.
Yeah, because the gay porn star that owned it cried on TV.
That thing that happened 3 weeks ago. You forgot about it already.
Well, I even tweeted that with the ancient bearded old man Giga Chat. I was like, the election was 3 weeks ago, and everyone is like, it's just turned into just pandemonium because no one knows what to do, and everyone's like the little kid on the tricycle from The Incredibles, and Mr. Incredible's like, what are you waiting for? He's like, I don't know, something exciting to happen, I guess. And it's like, yeah, me too, kid, me too. And so instead, we're all squabbling over. I'm so glad in the midst of all of the other breaking news between Syria and Assad and Destiny being a total pervert and other slurs I can't say on YouTube, I'm kind of glad that this meme discourse is more or less dead in the wake of your favorite lefty homosexuals acting like lefty homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The density of homosexual performers online is mind-boggling.
It's too damn high.
You can't throw a hot dog on Exeter without hitting a Manhattan Institute dude or something.
Without 14 dudes just trying to threat the thing.
Chomping at
14 live streamers just saw that hot dog run down there and they're like, call me a vet tech assistant the way I put that dog down. And it's just like, oh boy, this is a bad time to be a face lord on the internet, because all of a sudden everyone's going to assume that you have a tape that is going to eventually drop on Kiwi Farms.
Well, I assume that there's a second one on that. Just FYI, because the strategy, the 1-2 punch, it's you post the video, wait for the pitcher to send their denial, and then you drop the second one with the proof. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Mr. President, a second compromat video has dropped on Kiwi Farms.
You know what they say? Videotape me giving head once. Shame on you. Videotape me giving head twice. Can't videotape me giving head twice. That's what they say. But
I did have more thoughts on the meme. If you guys
go for it.
Yeah, sorry.
So we have the wife jack. We've talked through that a bit. The fast iterations that were referenced earlier, like there's the daughter jack, the husband jack, and the son jack, who's like, they're both minis of the adults. I'm just curious your guys' thoughts on those. I guess I think it's related to like the increased speed of it and all that. But I'm just curious your guys' impressions of like how organic that is, how funny or cringe that is.
On one hand, partially organic. Secondly, I can make money off of this. So I mean, they both go hand in hand. But I'm in some, and I'm not. So one, I'm making it a point not to leak GCs or anything like that, because you do that unless it's posted with express permission of whatever you're screen capping. You are fundamentally an untrustworthy person. Right. But like, I'm in some group chats with some heavy hitters, and I know that they make memes or that things get workshopped, because every group chat is a writer's room and a place of exchange and a place of literature recommendations and things like that. Even the small GC that I have is kind of like that with you guys in it. And it's, at the end of the day, I've seen some incredibly good memes and good talking points get workshopped. And, I'm mutuals with Kiki and others that have been really big behind the Dark MAGA push over the last year and a half. And it's probably even older than that, to be honest, because even Joe Biden tried to steal the whole, Dark Brandon stuff. But the point being that
Dark MAGA existed 4 years ago.
Yeah, Dark MAGA did exist 4 years ago. And then it got, then it was cleverly commoditized and pushed for a polemical engine into being pro-Trump on Twitter, especially after Elon bought it. And so you have all that, right? And so, like, on one hand, organic in the sense that guys get together and come up with an idea and then boom, it happens. But then also, I'm sure that there are others that are in the crypto scene that are ready to pump and make money and make a quick buck. So it's partially that. So I don't know, because I remember the guy one felt like the husband jack cell thing came organic. It was like, flannel blue shirt, which is exactly what I'm wearing right now, and then a guy with some like bearded stubble. I was like, okay, like I get it, because I know like 30 guys that look just like that in my like, I guess, immediate social life and circle. It's like, it's relatable because it's sort of like an identifiable archetype. And I know plenty of white guys that look exactly like that. So cool. The daughter and the son one felt very inorganic. And the one that's the daughter felt, I don't want to know where that face comes from.
Oh God.
A little sussy.
A little sus. I'm not one who uses any kind of material for the purposes of onanistically releasing and condemning himself. But at the same time, I know that face when I see it, just because I'm on twitter.com and people post the most disturbing things imaginable.
So
Am I the only one who thinks that, or is that just me sounding too
lazy-brained?
I mean, several. I have seen the one where daughter Jack is implausibly pregnant, and I've seen that too. People are going there.
They're cooking. Well, it's part of the. That's why I'm arguing. It's some of the DR people, I think they've lost their teeth a little bit, because this happened into 2016, like I mentioned before. Sargon types. Remember, they were Pepe Keck. They were like cringing up the Pepe stuff, and then the reaction was they created these extreme Pepes, where Pepe's like, whipping, like shoving his thing in the guy's eyeballs or all sorts of crazy shit.
So they were creating Dan Crenshaw's before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. They were cringe-shawing people. And now this one, it seems like some wife guys failed the shit test, where they were like unironic, like, it's just good. One very cringe take I saw was like, this is a sign of like white men and white women coming together after the election and all the damage done. I'm like, have a seat, sweetie.
I know a couple of guys that had posted that who are mutuals of mine. And on one hand, I don't think it's so much about the meme as it was that, and this is why I had tweeted a couple of weeks ago this, and I think that this is kind of important, is that post-election, actually really post-Elon buyout of Twitter, the evolutionary pressures were gone. You had to be clever and witty and to be safe enough to post your sort of right-wing Sosmodot on Parag or Dorsey Twitter in order to grow and to be clever. And when someone got banned or you got banned and you respawned, you learned what line to not push and how to word things so you don't get banned or you don't break containment in a way that's going to get your account destroyed. That's gone. And instead, things have become like when any space loses its left-wing Jannies, it turns into a cesspool very quickly. And that, oh, well, now there's no iron sharpening iron here. Instead, what it is like it's one group chat, you know, like the West Side gang going up against the East Side gang, except it's like it's just like some right wingers shooting at like Groiper Twitter accounts because that's the thing to do, and it's entertaining because you want to piss off the people you know who are going to take the bait and are going to go for it. So it turns into these like little gang drive-bys, except you're purposefully posting inflammatory bait that is going to get the other side all riled up, or they're going to make wild accusations and other such things. And the insightful, witty commentary, banter, dialoguing, polemical engine aspect of it has kind of got full of glut and full of sawdust, and the engine isn't working as well as it should have been. Because you're right, like the spirit of 2016 was incredibly transgressive. The Pepes and the alt-right and all those things were far more edgy in a lot of ways that we kind of just take for granted, or because of the ban waves and the deplatforming and the adpocalypse demonetization runs, people kind of stopped doing that. And that's sort of what things have been since then. And we've kind of just gotten soft. So I think on one hand, there's some old heads that are, you know, behind locked accounts or that have been here since like 2014 that are like, you guys are all just a bunch of pussies. You guys are weak and you need to harden your stomach or harden your hearts or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying, because there was some really transgressive shit, you know, nearly 10 years ago. But also at the same time, I guess it's different when it's in a meme format, because I can watch Syrian civil war footage and not be as desensitized to it in the same way that, like, wow, someone went out of their way to like draw a vicious decapitation of a Wojak to make their point. Like, takes effort. Really shows me what's in your heart.
It might be a generational thing, you know, like we were that age more that, well, the people on this call were more that age back in 2016, whereas now maybe we are getting to be the old guys. And I think your point about living under the censorship regime also, I think, is key, because a lot of people that have been through that, you come up with a more, maybe more socially well-adjusted set of norms. And yeah, and then you have the next generation that's raw to a flaw, like to the point they're posting this to these extreme levels. And yeah, it's just kind of spiraling now into it fits into the broader Groiper versus DR thing, which is just like we've kind of flirted with the topic a time or two already, in terms of, I don't know how organic it is, to be honest. I think this actually came out last time we were talking, or maybe it was after the recording, but just how much is botting versus genuinely are these like Zoomers or like older Gen Alpha. I'm not even sure if they're 18 or yet or not. But yeah, there just seems to be a huge age divide that this meme is highlighted in this round, whereas last time it was the gender divide.
So you're saying you think that the Groipers are anti-Wifejack because they are children?
A little bit.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think it's because they are gay, or at least their leader is gay.
I don't think it's purely about a clan or a cult of personality going against just another one. I think that there are I think you can't just boil it down to just like certain right-wing personalities beefing with BAP or with Fuentes or whatever. I don't think that's the whole shtick. And to reduce it to that, I think would be a gross overgeneralization, because there are so many factions. There's trads, there's Bappists, there's Fuentes people, there's
yes, we are the big tent. Yes.
No, yeah, you know, but I mean, there's just, you know, then you have like Armar Knights, then you have certain like anime PFPs, you have rationalists, you have HBD guys, you have also, like, there's so many camps under the sun for what constitutes, I guess, like this bizarre ecosystem of right-wing Twitter or just like right-wing online spaces, that to reduce it to those two, I think, is a gross overgeneralization. But also that, like, everyone that I know from the camps are relatively have given their own take. And I think maybe that's sort of the meme fatigue, is that everyone has issued their opinion. Every major account representative of them all has kind of said their take on it. And I don't really beef with anyone online. I don't like really start shit. So I'm kind of friendly with people from all sorts of different places. And to watch it all play out is bizarre, because some like have vitriolically have argued that, no, I actually really do hate women and I hate this meme with a passion. And then others will let it break into like the normie con cat turd ecosystem of like, I love my wife, guys, isn't this funny? And then others are just like, well, you know, this is cool, but you know what's more, Lindy? And it's like going after your cousin instead, and how it coincidentally timed with, you know, Thanksgiving. And it's just like, oh wow, I'm actually really done with this meme for the sole purpose I'm tired of your
Shout out to
takes.
Spurgler.
Well, it wasn't just him.
I know.
I wasn't gonna name names.
I know, but that was a great one. It's just a one-line tweet. It was great. It didn't include any kind of Wifejack. But yeah.
Yeah. So, like, on one hand, yeah, I think that the monetization of Twitter, as well as sort of the monetization of these images and memes for coins and tokens, has accelerated how the staying power of a meme. And keep in mind, like, you know, the feels guy. I mean, this is how Wojak started years ago. And now you have all these images that are all part of the greater taxonomy of Wojak, in the same way that there's a taxonomy for the usage of frogs for like Marv and Peepoo and Apostaya and Pepe and the Groiper. Like it's all there. And so now that you've created this strange taxonomical format for what is applicable to each situation is particularly interesting. And it's just like, I want to pause for a second, just think like, man, imagine explaining this shit to your parents or to like anyone who's not on the internet, this like large hundreds of hours of just being exposed to it, having a taxonomy for who's this and that. It's partially why I do this show, but secondly, like, oh my gosh, it's kind of crazy to think about what we're talking about here, how incredibly meta and almost borderline masturbatory it feels to spend the last 50 minutes doing.
I think this is important work, Prude. And I'll tell you why. Because this is going somewhere. This is version 1.0. You were talking about you missed the Bitcoin train earlier. You didn't miss the Wojak coin train, because I think this is going to keep iterating, and there's going to be, they don't have a good way. Like there's this, I guess, a perennial crypto issue, but like they're having trouble like mapping the value onto it, right? So like right now, the monetization is memes are spread, memes are viewed. That's marketing space. Therefore, plug a marketing, little line into the meme, spread it, pumps the coin, and you always rug pull. And so you're only going to get the most desperate gambling people. But if they can find some way to like get like buy-in from the people like making the memes, like I think that's going to happen. I guess that's my maybe this is a grim prediction, but I think there's going to be, and I don't have the perfect idea, but there's going to be an innovation in this meme monetization in the next 2-3 years probably that will seem really obvious in hindsight, where they're going to be like, I don't know what it is, but it's like you buy into the meme to make it, or like if it's official, gold standard meme trim or something. There's got to be something they're going to try. I don't know if it'll work necessarily, but it's like I feel like they're grasping at something right now in terms of a way to squeeze money, monetize memes, and it's crude. I don't know. Am I smoking hopium or mental retardation right now?
No, I think you're right. And we sort of
smoking doomium if you're smoking anything.
I don't think he's smoking doomium. I think he's making a point that we're witnessing on the ground level the next, I guess, iteration, or the next way in which you can, I guess, make crypto money quick. I don't want to call it a get rich quick scheme, but I mean, maybe, pump and run. Like it feels very, I guess for lack of a better term, it feels incredibly speculative in the same way that you would have land speculators, bring out like a survey team or something in like the 1800s as, America was going westward and talk about how great this land is going to be and how awesome once a railroad gets here, and then it would never come, but they've already made their money when they sold it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this sort of ecosystem landscape feels like, is that you can actually make money incredibly fast because the timeline moves quicker and you can watch it climb in real time, unlike waiting for things to come because of the delay in communication. But then on top of that, they're memes. Everyone uses memes to communicate. Like, it's a fundamental part of our online language, is this pictographic form of communication. And so I think that we're on this ground level, or we're watching in real time the evolution of this new marketplace emerge. Especially because crypto is going to be much friendlier of an environment in this incoming Trump administration.
True.
Speaking of something as an op, I do want to. I checked, and Chill Guy, having not existed for a full 2 weeks on Pump Fun, is currently sitting at a cool $500 million in market cap.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
How did I miss this one?
Yeah.
How did you're a resident crypto guy, David? How did you miss this one?
I'm not on Sol at all.
It's Radium, actually. It's Radium on Pump Fun. But and also, contrary to what I said before, apparently Peanut is still above $1 billion market cap. Still.
They say times are hard.
They say times are hard. The squirrel's still on top, though.
What is there? Maybe that is something we need to do at some point. Interview somebody if they're willing to, hide their voice or something. Just like what the fuck's going on behind the scenes? Like, how does this work?
It's a great question.
Gay ops. It's all gay ops.
Gay ops top down.
But look, I just want to point out, look at this one. You've got the little cat as well that's been included.
Yeah.
The on the bottom here is the Chud ornament. Billions must die. There's the Luce, the little Catholic mascot for the Jubilee. Some lib is in a crystal.
That's your
Look
aunt.
at that. Your Apustaya, the daughter, the husband, the son is not present in this one, but then there she is. Look at there's some well done attention to detail meme play here, but also at the same time, I'm just like, well done. They found the perfect market, I guess, to crib off of. And I mean, this is a part of, I guess.